Hello, everybody, and welcome to what I call my Truthful Tuesdays. I wanted to talk today just to kind of reflect on some things that God has been ministering to me about, specifically this morning. As I was traveling home on 95, you're sitting in traffic and you're not sitting in traffic, and then you're driving and, so forth. But anyway, as I was driving and I was listening to, which is like one of my all-time favorite songs, is called Yes, and it's by Shekinah Glory. And before I get into the lyrics of the song and really talking about what that song means to me, I started thinking about when I first came into the ministry. That was approximately 1997 when I began to struggle with, God, what is happening to me? What are you doing to me? I want to go to sleep at night. I want to be able to function. What's happening? So I called my mom and I was telling her, she was like, oh, won't you call, this minister and talk to her about it and let her know what you're experiencing. So I did. And she said, baby, God's just waiting for you to say yes. He either wants you to say yes or no. Let him know something. And then I guarantee you, the moment that you answer him, it'll be the best night of rest that you ever had. Well, that night, I laid before the Lord on my face and I wept and I cried and I said, God, yes. Whatever it is that you want me to do, God, whatever it is that you're calling me to, yes, I'll do it. I'm tired of running. I'm tired of being in circles that I know that I'm just feel like I'm running around. I'm tired, God. So yes, whatever that you need me to do or desire for me to do, yes. So that's how that song came into being with me. Years later, of course, I remember standing at the altar one night and I was still struggling with this calling. And this probably was maybe 5-10 years later. And I was still struggling, yes. And the choir was singing and ministering the song. And I remember standing before another minister to pray for me. And I just wept. And I'm like, I just don't understand what God wants me to do. I don't know if I'm not hearing him. I don't know if I'm just being disobedient. I don't know what it is, but I'm tired. And she said, Donna, when you say yes to God, be careful. Because the moment that you say yes, you are surrendering it all to him. And the reason why you're still struggling, the reason why you're still feeling like you're lost is because you really haven't surrendered it to him. You haven't let God do what he desires to do in you. So as I was traveling this morning and I was listening to the lyrics and I began to just have tears fall from my eyes. And I listened to the lyrics over and over and over. I even came to my office and I printed them. And it says, God, I'll do what you want me to do. I'll say what you want me to say. I'll go if you lead me. If you lead me, God, I will go. Open up my heart and say yes. God just wants us to say yes. And that was like the bottom of it, the course part. But at the very beginning, it says, ask the person next to you, will you still say yes? Will your heart and soul say yes? Will your spirit still say yes? There is more that I require of thee. Will your heart and soul say yes? Now will your heart and soul say yes? Will your spirit still say yes? If I told you what I really need, will your heart and your soul says yes? And I began to really think about that. My mind says yes. My heart says yes. But does my spirit really say yes? And I started crying to the point where it was like, God, okay, I got to be able to see where I'm going now. You know, don't let me cry so much that I can't focus. But even in the midst of it, I still said, God, is my spirit saying yes? Am I really doing what it is that you've called me to do? Are we really walking in the direction that God truly desires us to walk? If he says right now, there is more that I require of you, more that you're doing right now, more than where you're going right now, more than what you're saying right now, will you still say yes? And my answer is yes. God, whatever you require of me, I will say yes. Wherever that you want me to go, God, I will say yes. Whatever you want me to say, whatever you want me to do, whatever it is, God, I say yes. And the reason why I say yes is because I've done all that I can do. I've tried to walk this walk the best that I know how. I've listened to theologians. I've sat in classrooms. I've done everything that God desired for me to do as far as crafting and understanding my calling. But now it is time to put action to the yes. I know that God requires more of me. I know that God requires more of each and every one of us. My truth today is I know that I have not been doing every single thing that I need to do, that I'm required to do, that I'm told to do. But today is the day that I start all over again. Not the 18 years of being in ministry, but today is the day that, God, I say yes. Whatever, God, you want me to do. Whatever, God, that you need me to do, I say yes. So I want to encourage you on today. Don't say yes unless you're ready to say yes. Don't say yes unless you are ready to surrender everything that you think that you know, whatever you think that you are doing that is right, wherever you think that you're serving, that God wants you to serve, surrender it all and say yes to God. That whatever he requires of you, you're willing to give it to him. We say, for God I live and for God I die. Well, that's what yes really means. It means that I am giving up what I think that I'm supposed to do. Whatever my mind says that I'm supposed to do. Wherever I think that I'm supposed to go, I'm giving it up. And I'm trusting you, God. God is opening so many doors that my mind cannot even begin to fathom. Not because of my obedience, not because of my sacrifice, but because he called me and he chose me. So I know that God has called many of us. And I know that God has chosen many of us. So I want to encourage you on today that you might think that this road is going to be easy. You may think that walking with Christ and, being in relationship with him, that everything is going to be a bed of roses. But I want to let you know today that the devil is a liar. It's not going to be peaches and cream. You're going to go through more hell than you ever thought that your mind could ever even handle. You're going to go through some situations that you be like, where is God? You're going to go through some stuff that's going to make you question who you really are. You're going to go through some mess that's going to make you wonder, did God really call you? And did God really choose you? There is more that God requires of us. He requires more of us than just having that title and, reverend or pastor or evangelist or bishop. He requires more of us than to have those titles. He requires our service. He requires our worship. He requires our hands, our feet, our mouth. He requires our very being. He requires us to give up everything that we know and to walk in his obedience, to walk in his guidance, to walk with him, trusting us, trusting him. Yes, God. Yes. I lift my hands to you, God, and I say yes. Whatever you want, trust God. But allow God to be able to trust you. To trust you that your yes is your yes. And that when you say yes, you might lose your family. You might lose your friends. You might even lose your children, your job, everything. You might lose your money. Are you ready for that? Are you ready to lose everything to gain so much more? Something that a title can't give you. Something that a person can't give you. Are you ready to receive all that yes requires of you? I am. And today is my Truthful Tuesday. That I'm ready, Lord. I'm really ready. I'm ready for that which you have for me. I'm not going to allow my fear to keep me from succeeding in that which you have for me. And success for me is not about having a bank account that's overflowing. Success for me is not about having cars multiple in my garage or having a garage. Success is not about the number of people that follow me, the number of people that applaud me, the number of people that, that push me or that it doesn't matter. None of that matters. That's not success. Success for me is being obedient. And that God being pleased in that which I do. Not for other people, but that which I do for him. That's what success is. And God, I want to make you proud. I want to be successful for you. No matter how scary it is. No matter how fearful it is. Because fear is what we can't see. Fear is those things that we're not used to. I'm not used to succeeding. I'm not used to having a lot. I'm not used to having money, abundance of money in the bank. I'm not used to any of those things. But God, I trust you. That by me saying yes, by your people who call on your name saying yes, then that means everything that we stand in need of, you will supply. Everything that our hearts desire, you will supply. It may not be the monetary. It may not be the tangible. But you said, God, that you never see your seed begging for bread, nor the righteous forsaken. So God, we say yes today. We say yes to your will. Yes to your way. Yes, God, to whatever it is that you have need of. I pray that whatever it is that you decide to say yes to God to, that you hold firm to that word, and that you be willing to understand that he requires more of us. And are you willing to give it to him at whatever the cost may be? God bless you.